Welcome. Yep, it is another day where we are here talking about your business, my business, and I'm coming out live talking about the questions that you normally ask us. And on a Monday night at the top of the hour, we discuss topics that you, the viewers, you get to ask me. And as you all know, I am TJ from the TJ tribe, and I am always answering questions here. And someone says to me, TJ, what gives you the right to answer some of these questions? Brother, I've been in business for the last decade or so within the real estate. I didn't start off by being in business alone. I started off as an employee, just like you, maybe where you're sitting in. And I started having small business here and there. And I have built some businesses that if you stay plugged on in here, you'll continuously be able to see what I'm doing. But over and above, I also write books, and this is one of my books, the first book that I ever wrote, which is called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. And then the other book that I went on to write, which is called Be the First Millionaire. And my friends, these are all resources that are available to give you some help. Stop going through to all these other useless seminars that you're always going to and getting information that doesn't allow you to grow. Plugged in on here onto the TJ tribe, and above that, let us know what your questions is. I answer all the questions that I get, and obviously, when we get a question that comes through, it does not necessarily mean that we will answer it exactly on the same day. It may be answered in a couple of days to come, but my goal on a Monday night like this one is to answer all your guys' questions for free. So anything that is sensitive, obviously, you may want to do a one-on-one, but anything that is general, I always say, bring it here, and my friends, I'll be able to answer that question. Let's jump on to the first question, which is a bit of a lengthy one. And this guy here, he is out in KZN. When I was reading his first question, he says to me, TJ, hi TJ, I have been flipping properties since 2007. At this junction, I hadn't even started thinking about doing a hard business. I was still building my career in the banking sector across Africa. And this person says on to say, over the years, I have flipped over 100 properties. Well done, brother, to you. Well done. And I hope that in all of these 100 properties, you have made some money over the years. I also have a rental portfolio of around 60 units. My friends, I am hoping that you are seeing that we are not just a channel for the newbies, but we are also a channel for everybody, building your businesses and answering all the questions that you want me to answer. And all of those questions, there could be a roadblock in your business or maybe in your progression of your personal growth, specifically in the real estate. My name is TJ. I am here to help you out as I continue with the question. I found your channel very interesting. Thank you, brother. And it goes on to say, in the cheaper multi-let units, I have had many horror stories. Welcome to the club. With tenants not paying and not leaving. Litigation is very expensive. He goes on, I've got a limited space there, but he goes on to ask the question, how can you help? How are you doing it differently? So this is another brother who is running his own business, is finding a little bit of, is getting a bit of pain. And I thought, let me start off with this question, because I do think that people, they come through to these things, they are sold all these nice things about property, but they forget that this is actually a business that you're running. Now, I'm speaking specifically to some of you who are going to all these seminars, who are going to the webinars and so on, and you get hyped up to join in, and you're joining in without thinking, and you're joining in without knowing. But there is channels like these ones where I tell you the truth, the truth of what is happening now, what has happened to me, what is happening to other people. And my goal is very simple, so that you yourself can be able to see whether this is for me. And if it is for you, come. We will teach you how to do it. But let's answer the question. Basically, he is saying, I want to come back to, it does not necessarily mean that if you are a seasoned investor, some of these problems may go away. There's a couple of things that needs to be changed here. He's been doing it for a while. Thank you for answering the question, asking the question. He's been doing it for a while, and he is continuously learning. You can see that he's here to learn. So for some of you who are just starting off, you're thinking that the learning stops. It does not stop, my friends. It actually gets intensified as you grow your portfolio. This brother here goes on to ask the question, in the cheaper multi-lets, this is specifically in the cheaper. I have also found that it is relatively the same. So you're not the only one with the pain there. I agree with you that in the cheaper multi-lets, I'm going to put a disclaimer here. In the markets where I've been doing business, I realized that properties that are anything below 3,000 Rand, this guy here, I don't touch no more. Yep, I don't touch no more. So my entry level in my portfolio is anything now plus 5,000. I find that it is easier for me to have that conversation. But I want to give you some tools, guys, that can be able to help you with navigating this challenge. In the cheaper multi-lets, the chances are that even when the economy turns like what it did during COVID, these are the people that are hit harder from an economic change. These are the people that are laid off first. These are the people that are also in the work, pay as you work scenarios. So if there's no job, they can't pay you rent. So I try to run away from such kind of investments, but I know that there's lots and lots of people, especially who do multi-lets, where they would find some happy joys in it. But these are the joys that you get when the market conditions are good. When it's bad, it's really bad within that space. Am I saying that don't invest in that area? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you need to do it more carefully. What are the tools that you need to be able to manage this? Number one, before you even buy your property, I'm speaking directly to this guy now with these horror stories that are coming up. Before you even buy your own property, I suggest that you utilize a tool that is called tpn.co.za. They are not part, I don't own the business. They're not paying me for doing that. I just like their tool, right? So I have no ulterior motives for that. Over and above that, this TPN report that I'm talking about, specifically, they have put a nice report with some good data that you can pull per area, per suburb, per country, even per district. You can pull a report which is called an investor report. It's literally, I think the last one, how much I paid for it? I think just below 50 Rand, if I'm not mistaken. And within this report, my friends, I think what I'm going to do is that I will show you that report as I go along. Let me see if I can then be able to pull it up a little bit later as I go along. But within this investor report, when you do see it, it will be able to tell you, can you, the people in the area, that what is the type of the people, can they pay rent and things like that? And then you can make your decision long before you buy the property. So it gives you an indication whether you should buy or not, right? And if you're going to buy, what are the parameters that you now need to put on this particular property so that you can be able to collect your rent? I know quite a lot of people that collect rent within this space, and they do it successfully. Some of them, they use the tactics like, for instance, if it's a multi-let, they will have a caretaker who stays on the property. I've utilized that strategy. However, I have seen some other caretakers also running away with the money. Yep, so risk and mitigation. I've also seen that some other people go out and collect the money themselves. I do not do that. However, I am going to show you another tool that I also utilize to make sure that these tenants, when they don't pay, they do not sit in my property. So basically, it becomes easier for me to expel them. Now, you also go on to say, I've had many stories with the tenants not paying and not leaving. I want to introduce to you a facility that I utilize. And these guys here, they are called the Expello, and they are good friends of mine. And basically, they have also given me a discount. And Expello, basically what they are an eviction management and property risk solution company. So for a small fee out of your property, what they do, these guys here, is that you can then be able to sign up with them. When you sign up with them, just like what I have done, they will offer any South African property in, owners. So whether you're foreign or not, for as long as you have properties in South Africa, they offer you a solution where the owners can effectively evict illegal tenants on your property. Because remember, when they're not paying from day number one, they're already illegal staying in your property, right? They do it in a cost-effective solution. And obviously, this should be able to give you a peace of mind. And these horror stories that you speak of, my friend, becomes a thing of the past. The litigation becomes cheaper because out of that, the tenants is basically paying for their own eviction when they default. So these are the guys that I utilize. Go out, check them out. Their record is quite amazing. They are on the 100% success rate so far. And they are actually being utilized by some of the bigger estate agents out there, the likes of Steve Rosson. I can mention a few, but they've been around. They know what they're doing. And I would urge you, if you are in the game, reach out to them so that they can be able to help you. In the comments, not in the comments, but in the description, we will also put in this link that you have just seen here now, which says expello.link/TJ Tribe. And once you hit that link, go through, they'll be able to help you out. So these problems here that we are seeing will go away. That was my first question. I hope that I've been able to help anyone out there, and specifically I've been able to help you, brother, in terms of what are your issues. In terms of your evictions as well, what are some of the other things that you have seen out there? In the comments, let me know. Let us have the discussions. So to wrap up this question here, I want to say that I think I've given, to summarize this, I've given a few tips. Number one, how do you buy to make sure that you're buying in the right space, right? So you get to have some tools that can help you with that. And you can mitigate, you can highlight your own risk and mitigate for it before you buy. And as and when you buy, because now you understand the risk, you can manage it correctly. I've given you some tips that I've utilized in the past in terms of management, but also it comes with its own risk. So how best can you mitigate that risk? My friends, as you are seeing, the business, it's all about mitigation, the risk. But I do think that the first thing that you need to do is to identify the risk first. And these are the things that we teach at the TJ Tribe. Right, going along with question number 2. Question number 2, wherever you are, welcome aboard. It is great having you here. I try to answer as many questions as I can. This is a question that's coming through from Carrie. Carrie, she is saying here, Carrie Leah, she is saying, I am trying to get more serious with property. Welcome. I've been at it for a while myself. My question is, where do you find the deals? I have tried to run the numbers on Property 24, and I don't even get the 1,000 profit. Ooh, this is a problem that many of us have, especially when we are starting off, right? And this is why I have labeled this video specifically to say how to build a property investing business in South Africa. Because if we look at the first question, the brother there has built something, but it's now problematic. And here's a lady here. She is now asking the question to say, where do you actually get some of these cheapies? So the first one that I want to say is, every Wednesday on this channel, we've got what we call the Wednesday Deal Day. Yeah, Wednesday Deal Day. So if you tune in on Wednesdays at the top of the hour on 7 p.m. South African time, we're always showcasing a deal. That's the first place, an easy place that you already know you are here. The second place is that I would implore you to go out and look for a good estate agent that you can work with. Explain to your estate agent what is it exactly that you're looking for. Explain to your estate agent what you can afford and what you cannot afford and what you can afford, and what is your good investment strategy. They may not know the strategy itself, but they will be able to understand what they are seeing on the ground. So for an example, back in the days, I used to like buying distressed properties that are in a building. And these were 2 beds, 1 bath, and because I had very little money. So for that reason, I would continuously be asking all my estate agents for such kind of properties. So they would point me out for some of these properties, and some of those properties, they actually didn't want to advertise them. So they would come to me long before they've been advertised, and some of them never got been advertised. The third place where you can find some of these properties is, so you've created some relationship now with the estate agent. Right now on your own socials, just tell people that you're looking for properties to buy and vet them as they come in. You may find one that is not even on Property 24. So be vocal in your community. Tell the people that you are buying, you're wanting to buy. The fourth one is that you can work with what is called a sourcing agent. I work with lots of them. However, with a sourcing agent, what now needs to happen is that when they find you an opportunity, they are always going to ask for a finder's fee because they're doing the job for you. And lastly is something that I've tried before and something that I do from time to time is buying properties at an auction. But there's a different strategy in terms of how you should be able to know when to get your offer in. And when your offer has gone past, don't be emotional, walk away. Because I've been to auctions where I see the ego in the room. People start to chase each other on a deal, and the deal is no longer making sense. So yes, you are right. The majority of the properties that you do see on Property 24, they are likely going to be properties that will not be profitable. However, I also want to say to you is that maybe go to school. There are many schools out there where you can go in and learn how to do this. And within these schools as well, you can be able to connect with other like-minded investors. Some investors may be offloading. I recently bought a couple of properties from another investor. And basically this investor, I bought one building from him around about 4 years ago. And he is going in age. And because of the way I managed to buy his that building, he gave me a call and said, TJ, out of everyone else that I've done business with you, I would like you to buy a few things from me and come, let's have a discussion. So networking also is one of the other ways where you can get deals cheaper or more affordable, or deals that will be lucrative to you. I'm going on to the next question. Today I am doing questions. Let me see what is the other question here. As the plane comes to a land at the, I generally want us to do around about 30 minutes only. I generally want us to do around about 30 minutes only for us to be able to get as much from what we're talking about, and then hopefully we can always come back next week. Right. The other question that I've got here is someone that is saying to me, TJ, where's this question now? Hi, TJ, I am 32 years old. I want to retire at 35. I'm glad I came across this. Do you hold meetings or classes? Do you hold meetings or classes? So this is someone else who is around about 32 years, and they are asking me the question to say, TJ, how best can I do this? I want to retire at 35. 3 years, that's kind of like a hard That's kind of like a hard number there, and you need to be working extremely hard. I've done it in 2 years as well, yes. So I am sure you can do it, but it takes quite a bit of work. So, my friend, wherever you are, I didn't see whether this was a man or a woman. So we're just going to call them brother. So wherever you are, my friend, I just want to say to you that thank you for your kind words to say that you are glad that you tuned in. Continue tuning in because we are already teaching quite a lot of things here. And you asked the question to say you want to do this in 2 years. So you want to retire, meaning that you want to replace your salary or your active income. Let's assume that you're earning around about 50K. So you are saying that you want to replace 50K within the next 3 years. That's one-on-one retirement as we see it here at the TJ Tribe. My friend, it can be done. However, there's a bit of work. What is the work that you need to do? The first thing is that I would like you to find a school. If you cannot find a school, come in, plug in into what we call the TJ Academy. And in the TJ Academy, you will see in the comments, we are going to pin right on the top, and it basically says follow the link tree, TJ Tribe. And on there, you can follow and ask the section where it says get a mentor. And we will take it, the link will take you to the school. And basically, you can be able to populate your details and we'll be able to get through to you. That is the first thing, to find a school. Why am I suggesting that you find a school, my friend? It's because when I look back several years ago, I just didn't start by myself. You all know I've shown you some videos, I've shown you some pictures when I went to school. And I was fortunate at the time that I went to a school that was called the Legacy South Africa. And that company was owned by Robert Kiyosaki. And I went in to learn, and we spent quite a bit of money between my wife and I, just below 200,000. And that's a few years already ago. And I know mates of mine that were in the same class that spent just below 500,000. They went to study locally and abroad so that they could invest in South Africa and in the UK. But my friends, I want to speak to you, to this particular person, the 32-year-old, because that was the same time I was starting off my business around about my 32 years and so on. And you are exactly where I was. So get the right education first. Give yourself about a year to learn. But when I'm saying learning, what do I mean? Get to understand the theory part of it, then start small. That's my number 2. Start small with smaller deals. Start to understand the processes. Start to put your business together. And then the third thing out of that is that the business itself is going to start teaching you something. And as you are being taught with the business and with your clientele, then you can make it bigger. So for instance, if you are going to do this in Airbnb, start with a 2-bed, 1-bath of an Airbnb. Put your processes together, have your business running, then go on to a house, go on to 5 houses, go on to do 8 houses in different towns and things like that, because that's exactly what I started doing a couple of years. You all know that I do mixed use and student accommodation. And now I am doing this in a couple of cities, but I didn't just start off by doing that. I started off in my 2-bed, 1-bath, where I bought it for 160. Later on, sold it for around about just below 500. But the goal was for me to keep it. I sold it because of a particular investor that I was working with at the time. So had I not sold it, I would have kept it and I would have gotten my money 100% back now. So as a 32-year-old, first year is dedicated to learning. First year dedicated to putting your small deals together. First year, make sure that you have already closed this and you're making a bit of money. And especially if you don't have a coach or a mentor, anything like that. But in your second year, grow bigger. And when I'm saying bigger here, what do I mean? If you've been buying 500,000 deals, just add another 0. And then it becomes 5 million, right? And obviously, it has to depend with your affordability. If you qualify for those kind of loans, or if you got a bit of cash, they didn't give us enough detail here to say, do they have the money or do what? They didn't tell us all of that. So I'm making us a few assumptions as I'm answering these questions. Yeah. Now, my friends, if you are one of those people now that are giving yourself 3 years, I want to assure you that in your first year, your level of dedication needs to be at a 80 member, right? You're going to lose some sleep. You're going to lose some social. You're going to lose a whole lot of things. But remember, you're only doing this for a small season. And then thereafter, for the rest of your life, you're good to go. Over and above this, what I also suggest you do is that you start hanging out with like-minded people. This has helped me quite a lot. Like-minded people is networkings and communities like that, so you hang out. Someone also asked the previous question that I answered, they were asking, do I have meetings and classes? So we have what we call the TJ Tribe Academy. And in the academy, we meet 4 times in a year, and those are over weekends, so we call those masterminds. And those are the classes that you can define here to say that we do. We do meet for coaching sessions every second week. So those are the stuff that you can say, those are meetings and things like that. But I'm hoping that I've given you some snippets, my friend, on how best you can start at 32 and retire at 35. It can be done. Choose your strategies correctly as you go along. So I do want to say that even though there is a whole lot of things that you are doing that you might not be doing right now, I do want to suggest that reading books will help you, right? There are so many books that you can read. Some of those books, they will be able to help you on our website. There's another book as well, Prosperity Through Property. My good friend Yahu Hrobla wrote that. And there's another book that I can also suggest to you. And another one would be, there's another lady that's called Mama House. She's part of the tribe. And her book is Think Like the Wealthy, Not the Rich. These are just resources that are on our website right now. You can get through to these resources and you can read. And one of my good friends, Tanya Hafen, she's got a book that is also on our website selling that is called Breaks for Chicks. So you are not lack of resources, local resources that can be able to grow your business. And I want to say to you, as you are starting off, immerse yourself in these things, immerse yourself into this data, and then thereafter, continue being plugged on onto our YouTube channel. Continue coming into the sessions that we host. Continue coming into the masterminds. One deal at a time, and in round about 3 years that you are talking about, you will be able to get to where you want to get. I want to give you something here. If you are here already on our YouTube channel, we've got a playlist that is called the TJ Hall of Fame, right? And in the Hall of Fame is basically all my students, not all of them, but some of my students that are really smashing, doing great things. And you can plug into them, and some of them, their details are in the video. You can reach out to them directly and say, hey, I see you're doing this. Don't bombard them. They also have their own business to run. Maybe you're not really connecting with what we teach here, and you're wanting someone else with a different voice and different style. Like, for instance, one of my students called Lesaja, he does a lot of auctions. So if you got some money, you could buy quite a few properties in auctions. I don't do auctions all the time, but that's his game, and he's part of the tribe. So you can get plugged into someone like that. But as I land the plane, my friends, I just wanted to say to you, thank you for watching. You could have been watching anything else, but you decided to come and watch here. And if there is any other questions that you do have, follow-through questions to what we're talking about, in the comments, let me know. But if it is resources that you're looking for, my friends, go onto our website, the TJ tribe, you will be able to get more resources than what we are just talking about here. So again, welcome to the Ask TJ show, where we are here every Monday night at the top of the hour, 7 o'clock to 7:30, and I get to answer all of your questions, hoping that it can help progress your business. It is TJ. It's great hanging out with you. I will see you where? In the next video.